So coming up on Rick Dancer TV, we are attempting to go to Sisters over the McKenzie Highway on 242. We have conflicting reports of snow, but we're gonna try it anyway, and we have a plan B if this doesn't work out. But coming up on the show tonight, we've got a really cool story on how you can get involved with Habitat for Humanity and help a local family. We're also gonna tell you about a lot of events that are coming up, and I'm gonna introduce you to a guy named Frank Moore. This is a story we did back in our KEZI days. You're gonna love it. So wish us luck. I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting. So this is our first obstacle, a gate right here that says that the road is closed. So while we cross the bridge and get over that, you're gonna watch this first story about Habitat for Humanity. It's a project to build a house in an hour, and this is how you can get involved. The folks at Glory Be are part of a team of 7 business leaders in the community working to raise the money to build a house for a family that needs it in just 1 hour. Here's how you can help.
There wasn't a discussion. It was basically, we're doing this.
Build a house in an hour? Really? What a great opportunity.
If we're going to do it, it's going to be as a community, it's going to be a community effort.
In talking to these 7 businesses, they were excited, saying, well, we'll raise half of it, and the rest of the group needs to raise the other half, and in an hour, we're going to change a life for a family.
So I put one to hold it on this side.
The 7 companies are here to stabilize this and grow it and help us ensure that we can go from just a fundraising effort to building homes.
That's our goal this year, is just in an hour, raise enough money to go ahead and just build a house for a family.
The idea to build a house in an hour is super exciting. And I've been to the breakfast before, and the idea that in one breakfast we could raise enough money to sponsor an entire house, that's pretty intriguing.
For me is that it reminds us that we're not just here working to make a living, but we're also here to share a community with people who live here with us.
You're breaking the cycle of poverty when you put a family into a home and give them opportunities that they would not be able to have otherwise.
Everything stopped. I mean, I thought I was going back to school. It only took about 30 minutes before they were pulling me in the room going, we're pretty sure you have cancer.
We were able to get those medical bills under control. We started to look back into, our dream of becoming a homeowner and kind of realized that realistically it's a little bit out of our grasp. We've worked very hard to maintain our credit, and even after that huge blow of, him having cancer and all that, we've managed to bounce back. I feel like we've worked so hard and we don't get handouts, we don't get help in any way. Just the thoughts that Habitat chose us, this is huge. This is changing our life forever. We are so blessed.
Well, I think the concept of, basically raising the funds or building a house in an hour is really fun, to think that you're in a room and you're engaging this group and it's not so overwhelming.
I think this is great. I'd love to see more and more and more of these done. We're happy to help and continuing to help these families that are looking for shelter, and it's right in alignment with what our company stands for.
Okay. What I like about Habitat is it provides housing for people and gives the ability to break the cycle. If someone comes into the community, has a house and a place to live, their kids now have stability that they didn't have before.
It's all about giving people a hand up, not a handout, so they're able to actually pay it forward. The people we're going to build a house for are then going to pay it forward and help build another person's house, another family's house down the road, which is really exciting. It just is a perpetual cycle that goes on forever.
We plan on being a part of Habitat for the rest of our lives and instilling this in our children.
Because we work, we live, and we play here, and when we all pitch in and contribute something, we can make a much greater impact on the other lives of the people that we share this community with.
We laid the foundation and now we need your help to build the house.
It will blow people's minds to realize that in 1 hour, the money can be there to build this house.
When it comes to our groundbreaking ceremony, I honestly don't know how to thank them besides walking up and giving them the biggest hug I can possibly give them. I mean, there's so many situations where weight's been taken off my shoulder, especially when you're cured of cancer. And you know you're gonna live longer, but this is like probably the biggest weight I've ever had taken off my shoulder, because this sets up my wife, my kids, my family. Whether cancer comes back or something comes to take me away, I know they're safe.
We want to slam this home. This is about you. This doesn't get done without the individuals who have supported Habitat for Humanity. It doesn't get done without you.
Yeah, you do need journalism because, you know, we live in an age where people have a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of different sources that are pulling away from their time schedules, and so they rely on us to be places and cover things that they can't get to. And it might be everything from a city council meeting with a hot topic, such as a sick leave or something like that. And so they depend on us to be there. We're there all the time.
That's kind of what we're dealing with. Every, I don't know, 100 yards or so, we're running into snow, and it's really slippery, so you got to walk your bike through it. But hey, it gives you a harder workout, and it's beautiful. We're having fun, and we're hoping we get to Sisters for lunch. Coming up next, the Cinema Pacific Film Festival is coming to Eugene. We're going to tell you a little bit more about that with an interview with the director in just a second. But first, one of the films that's going to show at the festival is a documentary on a man named Frank Moore. He's down out of Roseburg, and well, I'll let the documentary speak for itself, but you can go online to the Cinema Pacific website and find out more information about when it plays. But more than 20 years ago, photographer Bill Getz and I went to Steamboat down by Roseburg, and we did a story on Frank Moore, one of the first video stories that was ever done on the man. And it was one of those stories that you just rarely get the chance to do. So I'm going to show you that, and I hope that encourages you to go to the festival and see more. And in a couple of weeks, we're actually going to go down and talk to Frank again and get an interview, and we'll re-air this again. So we're going to make our way up the hill and see if we get to Sisters.
KEZI TV, Eugene.
Tonight on Oregon People, we're going to tell you about a man who has had a huge impact on this state and who has rubbed shoulders with the movers and shakers of the land. But you've probably never heard his name, and if you asked him, he wouldn't think you should have. A quiet man who measures his life in friendships. Tucked away in the Cascade Mountains near no place in particular, flows a river they call the North Umpqua. Its beauty unsurpassed, its water clear and fresh, its fishing some of the finest in the land. That river. It calls some people, catches them forever. That's why you'll find a pond not far from the river. Near the pond, a log cabin. A log cabin that is home to Frank and Jeannie Moore.
A friend of mine said, okay, you're retiring, why don't you build a log house? And I, romantic that I was, I thought, oh, why not? I didn't realize what I was getting into.
18 years later, the Moores still aren't quite finished, but they don't seem too bothered by that.
I took every log and took a chainsaw and ripped every log flat on top and on the bottom so that they would lay flat together. And then I put insulation in between and then caulked it with butyl rubber.
Frank lives a full life. He's always loved fishing. Maybe that's why he built the trout pond in his backyard and stocked it with fish.
Some people have dogs and cats and horses or what have you, and since I've been involved with fish so much, I guess I just swung to fish. The trouble is you can't get them to come up and love you like a cat or a dog, though. That's the one problem.
He's got a stream for the fish to spawn in. He's also got peace and quiet high up here in the mountains. And of course, there's that river. Frank's passion for fly fishing comes second only to family and friends. He spends a lot of time on the river, always has, probably always will.
I first fished the river back probably in 28 or 29, something like that, with my father.
Frank guided fishermen along the river, and oh yeah, then he built the steamboat inn. The inn, the river, fishing, and Frank lured many wonderful people to these mountains.
We've had everything from politicians to some of the top actresses and actors in the world, singers, ambassadors, you name it.
Folks like Jack Hemingway, writer Ernest Hemingway's son. Film star Jane Wyatt is a personal friend of the Moores. She spent many summers with them up here on the river. And then there was former Oregon Governor Tom McCall. They were friends until he died. It was Governor McCall who appointed Frank to the Old Fish and Wildlife Commission. Frank is considered the father of Oregon's Forest Practices Act. Long before it was chic, Moore was fighting to save our rivers.
Fishing is the tie, and the love of people. We do. Jeannie and I both have always appreciated the people that have stayed with us and the friendships we developed. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about.
Frank has a knack. As we were packing up to leave the river, a giant hot dog car pulled up with 2 college students who do promotional work. It didn't take long for Frank to reel them in.
Well, you better come up to my house now and have a cheese sandwich with us.
Do that?
Would you like that?
Sure. How far is it?
It's about a couple miles back here, 3, up on the hill.
Never quite saw anything quite like it.
Hi there.
Hi.
We watched Frank and Jeannie Moore make 2 new friends that day. Make that 3.
What in the world?
It's a Wienermobile.
Yeah?
Hi, I'm Denise.
Hi, Denise.
I'm Chad.
Chad, I'm Jean.
Nice to meet you, Jean.
Like the river, there's something about Frank and Jeannie Moore that is enduring. Like the river, their lives flow through these mountain passes. Like the river, they move in beauty. And like the river they love so much, they too bind friends forever.
That's what it's all about, the friendships and the love that we feel one for another. It's been an interesting life. It really has.
Love that picture of the hot dog with the log cabin behind it.
Looks a little out of place.
A little
those two.
interesting. So we found the end of the footsteps. All other cyclists have stopped their journey here. but we kind of think we know where we are. And we think if we just maybe go up to the end of that corner, you think, hon?
Yeah.
Let's go there, and if it still looks bad, but what if we got right to there and it was beautiful, and we came all this way and we could have got over the hill? We'd be really sad. So we're gonna try it. We're here with Richard Herskowitz from the Cinema Pacific Film Festival. It's coming up real soon.
Yeah, starts April 27th.
Richard, tell me about how this got started.
You know, we started about 6 years ago when a cinema studies program was in formation at the University of Oregon. And there was a feeling at the university that we provide a Bach Festival for the region, the Schnitzer Museum that shows the talents both of the visual arts, faculty and students, and all the knowledge of the university makes it accessible to the community. And then there should be a film festival that the university creates too that is of top quality.
So U.S. World in Reports, what do they say about this? This is I hadn't heard this.
Yeah, well, you know, in the recent U.S. News and World Report ranking of the university, one of the things they mentioned is that one of the great values of coming to Eugene for a student or a faculty member is the high level of arts offerings that the university provides, including the Bach Festival and Cinema Pacific Film. We focus on films from Pacific bordering countries, including the Asia Pacific and the Pacific Americas. So mostly foreign language film, as well as films from the Pacific Northwest. There's an emphasis on Oregon filmmaking as well. We feel it's very important to expose people to international films because we find that really the great innovations in American filmmaking have come when people have been exposed, like Quentin Tarantino or Martin Scorsese, exposed to Italian neorealism or Hong Kong action films. Cinema Pacific includes a program called the Adrenaline Film Project. That's a 72-hour film competition and workshop in which 3 professional filmmakers mentor 36 filmmakers, 12 teams of 3 filmmakers, and they pitch, they write, they shoot, they edit their film, and then they present the completed film on the opening day of the film festival. There are 1,500 Chinese students at the university. The great strength of the Schnitzer Museum collection is its Asian art collection. And I discovered that the teaching and appreciation of Asian cinema at the university is as highly developed. There are more faculty teaching this than I've seen at any university in the country. So that's what made me realize that this was something that we really need to promote and make accessible to the broader region.
All right, good. Hey, Richard, thanks so much for being with us, and we'll see you at the festival.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
I see pavement. Just feels like we're close, though.
Being diagnosed with cancer changes your life. Having surgeries, you know, I was just focused on getting through it. I didn't understand the extent of it. It's a long journey. You know, I had limited range of motion, and we had to do a lot of manual work, and I have to do a lot of re-educating my body to do what it was doing before.
The doctors are the people that help the patients beat cancer. What we do is we help people get back to living the life that they love.
I had no idea, and I was well informed, but as fantastic as my doctors were, I don't even think they understand what happens after cancer. I don't think you can understand it until you go through it.
You know, we've developed a niche in taking care of cancer patients.
I have never felt so weak and vulnerable my whole life. So to have the physical therapist and the massage therapist and the acupuncturist help me get my strength back, I have no words to describe how grateful I am for that.
I think that in some ways, all of us here went through cancer with Mary.
Now our staff knows how to really help people physically, and we take care of them emotionally too. And that's a pretty great feeling. Physical therapy and all of the other therapies that we offer here have really helped get me back to living the life I love. And that's what we'll do for you.
I think we're done. And what's so sad is it's not that far.
Well, we're 8 miles. We have 5 more miles that we know of.
So we're probably 5 miles from the top. One of our most loyal friends and clients of Rick Dancer TV since the very beginning is Ranchito Grill in Springfield. Abe over there is the greatest guy. He owns the place, and Ruben works there, and he's wonderful too. And they have the best food, the best Mexican food in town. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't say that. You know me. I don't say stuff like that if it's not true, and it is true. You've got to try it. Another good reason to try it, though, is when you go have dinner, you can fill out a little form, put your name and your phone number, stick it in the bucket under Rick Dancer TV, and every month we draw a name, and that person gets 2 free dinners. And this month it's Rick Haskell. I'll be giving you a phone call. And when you go in there, would you do me a favor? On lunchtime, they always have a $6.95 special. So go in, get the special, and tell Ruben or tell Abe that you saw it on Rick Dancer TV. They love that, and it helps us too. Okay, we didn't make it up the hill, but we did make it to lunch. We're at Dakota's, is that right? In McKenzie Bridge. Oh, I'm talking to myself, and the girl's wondering what I'm doing, but this is actually going to end up on TV, so she can't look too square at us. So we're at Dakota's, we're eating lunch, and then we're headed back up the mountain to our car. Just because Kathy and I didn't make it to the top doesn't mean you can't. We wouldn't leave you like that. So I went back into the archives, and I found a video from a couple of years ago when we actually made it up to the top because the road was officially opened. Enjoy. That was really fun. I didn't watch one. All right, so we made it to the summit. We're at the top. And all these other people, and they're cruising by. Here they go. See? They're gone, and they'll be down back in town in 3 minutes. When I used to work in television news, people would come up to me all the time and say, why do you guys always have to focus on negative stories? Why do you always have to do car accidents and crime and murders and that kind of thing, as if that's the only thing going on in our community? And you know what? I never had a real good answer. I couldn't answer because that's just what we did. That's what I love about doing Rick Dancer TV. You know, you people stop me on the streets all the time and you're coming up and saying, Rick, I love what you're doing on your show. And you know why I think you do that? Is because you know that Bill Getz and Will and Emma and Wine Julia and me, we're committed to doing real stories about real people, about good people, and about things going on in our community. We're not telling you what to think, we're just giving you things to think about. That's what you like about it. You want to be part of a conversation, not talked at. We're talked to on Rick Dancer TV. So you know what? We really appreciate the fact that you do tune in, and we ask you to send this to your friends. Get other people involved in the conversation, because we all want to be a part of this thing. You can do things different. Don't let anybody tell you you have to do it the way that everybody else does it, because we're not going to do that at Rick Dancer TV, and I don't want you to do that either. So you just keep showing up every week, and we'll be here, and we'll try to get you something new and something interesting to keep your attention. All right? We'll see you next week. So there's a couple of other things we have to tell you about before we go. One is the Mohawk Valley Metric Century. This used to be the Pedal for People ride. The money goes to support the people with Oregon Supported Living Program. It's May 9th. There's a 40, a 60, a 100K, and then there's a 100K plus. And Kathy and I did it last year. It's really grueling and tough. You go up over this hill and it's just a killer. Anyways, May the 9th. And MohawkValley100K.org is the website to go to get your tickets, to get your reservations, to get in there. There's a big pizza party and beer afterwards. A whole lot of fun. Also, Sprout Film Festival's coming up. This is the Wildish Theater on Wednesday, May the 6th. These are short films by or about people with disabilities. This is, it's been coming here many years. There's a matinee from 10:30 to 11:30, and then in the evening there's a reception and a silent auction, and that's from 5 to 9, or you can just go to the movies from 7 to 9. The prices and everything you need to know, fullaccess.org/events/Eugene. And we got one more thing to tell you about. That's Women's Spaces Gala, the Black and White Gala. It's a big fancy event. It's going to be at the Studio 5 in Eugene. That's right behind KEZI. It's also on May the 9th. To get tickets and information, just go to 541-485-8232, extension 114. You can get your tickets. Have a great time. We didn't make it to our destination, but what do you do in life when things don't work out? You find another way around it. So that's what we did. So have a good week, and we'll see you next week on Rick Dancer TV, or online all the time.